Let's turn our attention right now on the football show to Liverpool's game at West Ham over the weekend. Stephen, some suggested the title race was over before this game. Is it certainly over now as far as Liverpool's concerned?
Yeah. I think it was always going to be difficult after that Manchester United game at Old Trafford. I think Liverpool's form from then has dipped a lot, and then the defeat at Goodison the other night basically ended any hopes of it. I think you're clinging on to two incredible teams in Manchester City and Arsenal dropping points, and you just don't see them dropping that many points. And yeah, it just feels like Liverpool are quite deflated at the moment and running out of steam.
Yep, we can see behind us here Jurgen Klopp and Mo Salah. The distance between them is not significant. That's just the way there's no significance in that. But he was named on the bench. Came on as West Ham equalised to make it 2-2. In the build-up, though, is what most people have picked up on. What is this, a heated exchange with Jurgen Klopp? One newspaper suggesting today that Salah didn't shake Klopp's hand, and he's very big on that before he goes out there, whether that's true or not.
Well, there was another clip from behind that was circulating on social media, which was of Jurgen Klopp going over to Mohamed Salah and to almost put his hand out. And as he put his hand out, if you put your hand out, Sue, rather than you usually see this, Salah just goes and sort of walks away, and he doesn't engage in what Jurgen Klopp wants. And it's frustration. It's frustration as to Liverpool's run of late. It's frustration of being left on the bench when he feels like he should be playing every game. And that is, listen, they've both got big egos. They both want to be the best. They both want the best for individually and as a team. And it's not quite gone Liverpool's way. Salah's form's maybe dipped of late. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I watch some of the games back and I'll look at some of the opportunities that he's created for other players, and they've simply not finished them. Now, he hasn't been his usual clinical self as well, but yeah, there's probably a combination of things, just massive frustration.
Yeah. Let's get the ground rules first, though. In your mind, Klopp perfectly within his rights to drop Salah for that game?
Absolutely.
On
He's
his
the manager
form.
of the football team.
Yeah, on his form, though.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that we don't get what they're doing behind the scenes, what they're seeing from a workload point of view, what their output is in a game, whether physically the sports scientists are saying he's having a drop-off, he needs a rest, whatever it might be, and everyone will go, there's 4 games to go or 5 games to go, why would he need a rest? Well, because you're going to put a player in who might be 80% fit into a game. Well, you can't be 80% fit in the way that Liverpool play. You've got to be 90 to 95, if not more, ready to run at your absolute maximum. So we don't know all them stats behind the scenes. I think if Jota was fit after the Fulham game for the Everton game and Gakpo partner hadn't gone into labour, I think Salah wouldn't have played the derby. I think he'd have started with Diaz, Jota and Gakpo. I really do. I don't think his form's been outstanding of late. Again, I just go back to he's the manager.
Yeah, and every footballer, Sue, wants to play every second of every game, don't they? But there's also an understanding you have a manager, and if the manager decides, should you always pay respect, or is it acceptable to show your frustration in a public arena? If that's what Salah was doing. We don't know whether that is what Salah was doing.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we obviously don't know the conversation, we don't know what's been said, but yeah, both of them are just winners, and the fact that they've been in a position of, well, the quadruple a few weeks ago, we were talking about they could potentially get that, and then now they're feeling like things are getting away from them, and it is just that frustration. Mo Salah will be furious that he's not playing. He wants to be playing, he wants to be scoring goals and contributing. And like Stephen said, Jurgen Klopp's well within his rights to go, well, you haven't been performing at the levels we've seen you at, so, you know, you're going to be on the bench for this, but can you go on and can you go and win us the game? And yeah, like I say, we don't know what's been said, but both of them, you know, Liverpool fans absolutely adore both of them, don't they? Both absolute legends for the club and have done so much. So yeah, it's frustrating, and maybe you shouldn't, but sometimes those frustrations just take over.
Yeah, we know Jurgen Klopp's going. We're awaiting confirmation, but I think it's kind of a safe bet to say Arne Slot is his replacement. First of all, how surprised are you by that appointment? Came from slightly left field. Also, is his first biggest decision what to do with Mo Salah. A year left on his contract. Does he stick or does he twist?
Yeah. Well, the first part of the question is, yeah, probably was surprised. I think he suits the Liverpool model as to where they are. I didn't like the interview that he did last week. I thought it was a strange interview where he was talking about leaving Feyenoord and the compensation package that had been paid and things. And I'm thinking, you're still effectively the Feyenoord manager. Jurgen Klopp's still in the job. I thought I wasn't a huge fan of that interview. I thought it was poor. I do like what I've seen from him, sort of little things tactically and sort of the way he comes across in the media. That, taking away that interview that he did the other day, I like his interviews. I like the way he speaks. I think he is charismatic. I think he's a big personality. I think you've got to be a big personality to go in and fill Klopp's shoes. I think he feels like he can do that. Has he got enough experience in the game? I think he's only been a manager now for 7.5 years. And I think that's a big question to go into Liverpool. However, are you ever ready to go into Liverpool? I think that's one of the big things. He'll back himself. But the situation with Mohamed Salah is what does he feel? What's the game plan for his team? How's he going to set his team up? Is it a team of the way Liverpool are set up now and they want to get Mohamed Salah on the ball and they want him to be a big part of it? Or does he feel like if the cash came in, I can buy 3 or 4 players that I've already identified, which I think can improve Liverpool and that I know I can go out and get? I think if a big comes in, I think the manager would be tempted, but I still think Mohamed Salah would be tempted to stay for Liverpool for another year. And then if a big bid comes in, he takes all the money himself and takes it as the final payday.